Hi, Sarah speaking here. So today, what I want to talk to you about is the Facebook hack. And before we get into the content, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's commented on the last couple of videos which I've made, and to everybody that's emailed in as well. Yesterday we had a few people actually contact me about the Facebook method I talked about in video number 2. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're talking about the Facebook hack, and in particular, how we can actually target people and how we can actually advertise to people inside of a Facebook group. So the big problem with Facebook advertising is targeting. So we can create adverts on Facebook, which is fantastic, but the problem is who actually sees our adverts. And inside the advertising interface, there is, when we set up an advert, there's a thing which is called targeting, and we can put keywords in here and target very broad things like people who are interested in alternative energy, people who are interested in internet marketing. We can even target people who follow a particular person, like a well-known celebrity in the marketplace or something like this. But the problem with this type of targeting is it's very broad, and it can cost like a lot of money to advertise to these very broad sections of the market, or very broad demographics of the market. The best thing which we can do is advertise to people who are members of a group on Facebook. And the problem with this is you can't, if you just go to the Facebook ads interface and type in like a group name into the targeting options, it won't come up, it doesn't come up. So Facebook doesn't allow you to run adverts directly just to the people inside a group. So let's say there's a group on, let's say, dog training or something, and let's say there's 10,000 members, we can't advertise just to those 10,000 members, which is kind of annoying really. However, about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a method, I think it was about 7 years ago actually this started, but I remember using this about 5 or 6 years ago. There was a method, an underground technique, which allowed you to advertise to people inside of Facebook groups. And it was incredibly popular and it was incredibly profitable. And I made a lot of money from this. However, Facebook changed the rules and they stopped us being able to do this. They actually removed the option from within Facebook to be able to advertise to groups. And like I said, it was amazingly effective because these like really, really relevant people, we know 100% these people are interested in the particular subject matter, and where we were advertising to like a really small portion of people because there maybe is only 1,000 people in a group, and now we're only advertising to 1,000 people, but they're very relevant, and that way our advertising was very cheap. And when we go to these very broad targeting options, that's when advertising can get kind of like out of control. But today what I want to talk to you about is this new method I've discovered for advertising to Facebook groups. So let's get into the content, and what we're going to walk through today is a 4-step process for doing this. Everything I'm teaching you today is 100% within Facebook's terms and conditions. So whenever you're doing anything on Facebook, really important to follow the rules, and that's what we're doing. So like I said, 4-step process. I'm going to assume that you've already got a Facebook page. If you don't, need to create one. You kind of like need a Facebook page anyway if you want to do advertising. So the first thing you're going to need is a Facebook business page. So step 1, so I'm going to put number 1 here. Okay, I think you can see that. Yeah, okay, cool. So the first thing which we need is a Facebook page. Okay, and then on that Facebook page, we're going to create a post. So we're going to create a Facebook post on our own Facebook page, and this post is going to be a video-based post. So I'm going to create a video post here. So it's like that. My terrible attempt at artwork here. I'm the world's worst artist. There we go, a little picture of a person there. So we've got our video-based post. So once we've created our video-based post, I'm going to do here, and this is going to be step number 2. Okay, so we've created our Facebook post. The second thing which we're going to do now is we're going to click on the share button, and we're going to share this not as the Facebook page owner, but we're going to share this post as an individual, as ourselves. We're going to share this post into a group. So when you click on that share button as an individual, you can actually share it inside a group. So we're going to share in group. Okay, so we're going to share our post inside a group. So this is the group that you want to target. So let's say we're trying to target a group to do with alternative energy. So imagine there's a Facebook group with 5,000 members, all about how to, I don't know, like how to install solar panels yourself. Yeah, there are loads of groups like that. So let's say now we want to target those individuals. So what we do is we share our post. I'm going to put a line down here for step 3. So we share our video post in this group that we want to target. Then what we're going to do is we are going to hide our post from our Facebook page. So we're going to hide our Facebook post from our own Facebook page. And we do that just so it doesn't skew our figures. Not 100% essential that we hide it from our page, but it's just a step I like to take. So we've created our post on our business page. We've now shared our post inside a Facebook group, the group we want to target. And then step 3, okay. So step 3, once we've shared it inside the group, and by the way, what we want to try and get as much interaction with our video post as we can. So whenever anybody comments on our video, and we want to make sure that in our video we tell people to comment and ask questions, if anybody comments on this video, it will always go back to the top of the news feed. So as soon as somebody comments, we want to reply back to them to try and get interaction, on our video going. Really, really important, because as soon as people start commenting on this video, it gets put back to the top of the news feed and more people see it. So our aim with this video post, which is now in someone else's group, is to try and get as many people to actually watch the video as possible. We can now go to our Facebook ad manager, and within the ad manager itself, we can create what's called a custom audience. And when we create a custom audience, you just click on custom audience, create custom audience. There is an option to create a custom audience based off the people that have watched one of your videos, and you can decide which video it is. So we can say, okay, I want to create a custom audience of the people that have watched this video which you've shared in this group. Yeah. So now we're building an audience. So I'm going to put here CA, custom audience. So now we are building a custom audience based off the people who have watched our video. And when we create a custom audience, they give you lots of different options. You can say, based on people who have watched my video for the last 365 days, if you want to say that, or and you can say, I only want lots of different options when creating a custom audience. But for this purpose, what I would recommend that you do is you say, I want to build a custom audience of people who have watched my video in the last 7 days. So that's what I normally do. So I say 7 days. Okay, I think that's quite important. Okay, so we've now got a custom audience of people who have watched my video in the last 7 days. You can also say, I only want to target people who've watched, let's say, a minute of the video or all of the video. And that way now we're kind of like narrowing it down just to people who are super interested. So if you want your advertising to be a lot more targeted and cheaper, what we would do is we would say, we only want to target people who've watched at least 50% of the video. I normally just say 3 seconds, which is fine, but you could say 50%. If you want to really get the best bang for your buck when we're doing advertising, you want this custom audience just to be people who have watched 50% of this video which you shared in the Facebook group. So now, if we do this, we've got a custom audience which we can now advertise to people who have watched our video, who are members of that group. And we could even say that, people who've just watched 50%. So now we've got an audience of people, not just any old people, but these are people who are like super engaged, who have watched half of the video or more. So we know they're interested in what we have to say. And it's just people who have seen seen the video in the last 7 days. So now step 4 is we create an ad. Okay. And the ad, when we create our ad, the targeting option that we use is the custom audience. So our targeting is the custom audience. So, and that's there we go. So that's the custom audience which we just created. Now the beauty of this is we can create this ad once, and we can just leave it running. You kind of like set it and forget it. And this ad will only ever run for 7 days because our custom audience is based off people who have watched our video in the last 7 days. 8 days later, they'll drop off that audience. So what will happen is anybody who sees our video inside the group, and we can share this in multiple groups, by the way, it doesn't have to be one group. Anybody who sees our video in the group will get added to our custom audience for 7 days, and they'll start seeing our advert for the next 7 days. And if you really want to make this kind of like completely ninja and super, super effective, and this is like an extra step, this is kind of, I would say 4.5. So let's put another step in here, 4.5. The ad which we create, if we want to be super, super ninja, the ad which we create is going to be kind of related to the video which we created here. So if you want to be super ninja, the ad we create is a video ad, and the video is related to this video here. So we could create almost like a 2-part video series. So if your content which you're sharing in the group is really, really good stuff, really relevant, your audience really likes it, what you can do is you can create like a follow-up to that video, but that's your advert. And that advert, that video-based advert, could be like a like campaign to get people to like your page or join your group. It could be like a little preview to say, hey, if you like this content, you can get the rest of this video, or I've made a video series which you can get for free if you like opt into my email list. So we could do like a lead ad here, or we could get them into our own Facebook group, or even drive them to like a free event, like a live event on meetup.com or something like that. But the point is, if you want to be really ninja, you could link those 2 bits of content together. Don't have to do that, but that will just give you a better result, because it's all about building relationships. And so now they've heard of you in the Facebook group, they've seen your content, they've watched, they've watched 50% at least of your videos, so we know they're super relevant. Now when we run an advert to these people, it's not what we call cold traffic. This is now warm traffic, because these people know who you are, they've seen you before, and they're much more likely to watch your content. And you're probably going to get likes and comments on your actual advert itself, which Facebook, by the way, really like. And when you do this whole process, this will cut your advertising costs by about 90%. And you'll probably get about a 90%, I would say at least a 90% better return on your investment than you would just by targeting like a broad targeting option. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Use this hack responsibly. When you're posting in someone else's group, you do need to be respectful. So make sure that you are only posting really cool, useful content. Do not put an ad, do not put like a post in someone else's group which is buy my stuff. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be creating really good, relevant, usable content in someone else's group. Chances are most people won't even realize what you're doing, so it's absolutely fine. But this is something, like I said, you want to use responsibly, okay? So with great power, remember, comes great responsibility. So use this wisely. Hope you found this hack useful. And if you'd like to hear more of this kind of stuff, I don't know if you want to hear more hacks and things like this, do hit me up on Facebook, or comment below this video, like this video. If you see this video on Facebook, please do comment on it or like it, or comment below this video on my blog. I'd really love to hear your feedback, and it's been a pleasure making these videos for me. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like to learn, and I'll see you next time.